Hello guys, and welcome to my channel. This is full-sized, or at least that's my name, on Space Engineers. Today we are going to be exploring the center of the planet. And how do you get there? Well, you dig a giant hole and you jump down it. And as you can hear, the evil attack drones are trying to kill me, but they can't fly down this hole. So, how do we dig a giant hole like that? Well, we'd probably have to build a ship specifically for it that can drop bombs, just like that one. Yeah, big boom. Nice big hole. But how big is the hole? Let's find out. I made a marker or a GPS coordinate right on the surface. I'm going to fly over there and get right on top of it until it says absolutely 0. And then I'm going to drop straight down into the bottom of the hole from there. So it looks like we got 21 meters there. Now, 21 meters is quite a long ways for one big boom, but we have a lot of meters to go. How many meters do we have to go though? Well, if you put a GPS coordinate on one side of the planet and you fly around to the exact opposite side of the planet, it's something like 120, 125,000 meters. So if you take that and divide it by 2, you get about 60,000 meters. So it's at least 60,000 meters to the center of the planet. If we're only making 21 meters per bomb, we're going to need about almost 3,000 bombs in order to get all the way down there. And that's assuming we don't have a little farther to go than we thought. And every single bomb goes off perfectly and digs us 21 meters additionally on top of the tunnel that we already have. So in order to drop 3,000 bombs, I built this ship here in order to drop bombs. All it does is it welds up the bombs. It's got a merge block on there. There's a merge block on the ship. There's 2 timers. The timers switch back and forth. The welders stay on. Every other second, the merge block is told by the timer block to disengage. And once it's out of the way, then the welders are able to weld up the next one. And so the cycle repeats. And as you can see, we're making pretty good time going down this hole, and they're doing a pretty good job of staying centered and continuing to dig the hole deeper. Now, as you probably know, if I just keep letting it dig this hole, these bombs are going to start disappearing after they get to somewhere between 500 and 800 meters. And so I have to be able to go back up there, get the ship, and bring it down the hole with me. With drill bits, you have the inherent instability of thrusters working against the force of the drills hitting against the ground, and they're shaking around, and they're constantly getting off course. And from here to the core, 60,000 meters away, if you're off by even 1 degree, you're going to miss the core by miles. You're not even going to be really that close. You'll be in the ballpark, but you're not going to find the exact center of the planet. But by using the bomb system, gravity is constantly guiding them straight on target. Now, you will see as we go along that my tunnel does deviate slightly left and right, forward and back. But because gravity is pulling them, the bombs, straight towards the center, it's constantly self-correcting. Now, you can see at this point, I'm skipping ahead because this was 8 hours of constant drilling and moving forward and drilling and moving forward. But we're down to, what, 30,000 meters now? And I've looked at a few of the YouTube videos where people have tried to do this, and they had different methods, and I won't go into why I don't think they work, but there's a reason I thought I had a different idea that might actually work. And yeah, I might have lucked out that it did. Maybe they were unlucky that it didn't. I don't know. Either way, the whole idea of bringing the ship with me down the hole, I hadn't seen tried before, so I thought I would give it a shot, and it seems to be working. The problem with just dropping bombs from the surface, and I had the same exact problem with this one, is when I left the ship up above the ground, and I dropped bombs down into the ground, they only went down, and I didn't show this part in the video because it's kind of redundant, everybody knows this, but they only went down about 500 to 800 meters. And it really seemed like if I was like trying to fall with the bombs, that they would go a little farther. So they were only going about 500, and if I would position myself where I could just see where they were coming in and then go up a little bit closer than that, they would go ahead and zip on past me and gain some more room, and maybe go down to 700-800 meters before they disappeared into the void. So being able to bring the ship with me means that from the point where they leave the ship, so they are actually a created item, to the point where they impact, it's not that long. And that said, it interested me quite a bit that when I was up near the surface, if I left the ship sitting there blowing away, I only got about 500 to 800 meters. But down towards the core, I got more like 3,000-4,000 meters before the bombs would start disappearing. But either way, we managed to drill all the way down here to the core. If you see the gravity indicator over there on the left, it's reading absolutely 0 Gs. That point on that back wall, if you can see how the graphics are being manipulated around it, is clearly the center point of the entire planet. That is it, right at the opening of the mouth of that hand-drilled little hole. And I drilled that tunnel for quite a ways with my hand drill. And if you keep going down it, you see that the gravity starts going back up, 0.01, 0.02. And so this is definitely, absolutely, unequivocally, the absolute center of the planet. But there was nothing here. So I thought, it needs to have something here. So I gave it a giant ball of uranium ore, put some flashy lights on it, and called it a day. Now I'm heading back towards the surface. Now this is the trip from the top all the way to the bottom, sped up ridiculously fast. I managed to take 21 minutes of falling down this hole, bouncing off the walls, hitting my head, breaking my legs, and compress it into 3 minutes. You know, it's kind of funny. I wouldn't have thought before doing this that it would be difficult at all to just fall down a gigantic hole to the center of the earth. And in fact, it's pretty difficult to stay centered up in the hole so that you don't hit every little bump sticking out from the wall. It gives you an idea of just how ridiculously far 60,000 meters is underground. So we did it. We made it to the center of the planet. There's nothing there, but it is possible. Well, there is something there now. There wasn't anything there to start with. We did answer a couple of mysteries. Number one, the gravity does zero out when you reach the center of the planet. And we also found out that there is no ore down here. You saw this entire trip, well, at least segments of this entire trip while I was in the ship. The ship had a large ore detector on it. There is nothing down here in the way of ore. I haven't found any ore anywhere deeper than maybe 260, 70 meters at the most. And those are ridiculously deep. Most of the ore is 150 or less meters. It's very rare that I find the 260, 70. Another interesting thing that you can do with the ship design though, and I'll post it on the Steam forum so people can download it if they want to. I'll put a link in the description once I get that done. And I played with it a little bit. I didn't include it in the video, I'm sure you can imagine, but I went around on these dark patches on the surface, especially over the water, because it's really easy to see the dark patches. And I think everyone knows by now that the dark patches are where there's going to be some kind of an ore. And with the large ship ore detector, you can see the ore pretty well at 150, 170 meters. And so I knew what ores were down there, but I really didn't have any concept of how it's arranged underground. And so what I wanted to do was use the little bomb layer here and just kind of weave back and forth over those patches, explode the ground away, and see how those veins are designed. And what I found out was that I think a lot of times on survival mode, when I go into an ore patch and I dig a little bit of ore out, and then the vein starts to die off, I start getting a lot of stone, I think that's it. But from blowing some of these bombs off, I've discovered that actually a lot of those veins, they have thin and thick spots in them, and when you think it's dying out, you probably just need to dig a couple more meters and you'll dig right back into the same vein again where it thickens up. So, center of the planet, made it, found out a few interesting things along the way. It's been loads of fun. Thanks for watching and have a good day.